Good evening, everybody. It says I'm live. Yep, there goes the counter. It throws me every week. So this is Dale, D.Harden Art, and I will be doing a little drawing today, and I will be coloring it with, attempting to color it with these newish pens I have. You got a little bit of a sample of it. I think it was last week, and believe it or not, I had so many technical difficulties coming in today. The original scheduled the original scheduled live stream for some reason was waiting for some kind of data, waited for me to plug something in, and I don't remember making any kind of change to my settings, so I don't know what it was waiting for me to plug in. I set it up on Saturday. It gave me the link and everything, and was still kind of thinking about it all these days later. So what I did was I had to kind of shut it down. There was no way for me to back out or edit or update it. I shut it down, start a new live stream, and so here we are. I see someone's found me. Hello, welcome. Say hi. Nice to talk to somebody. It's so lonely out here on the internet. So, let me put my glasses on so I can see what I'm doing. Another one of my issues is I actually didn't really plan out what I was going to draw. So let's see what I can do. I'm going to start with my blue pencil. I was told before that people can't really see what I'm doing with the blue pencil, so we'll find out in a second here. I think I want to do Becca from the Raising Cain comic. Some kind of action pose, but what kind of action pose? Let's just see where the pencil takes me. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. Non-photo blue, kind of do it on purpose. So if I do scan it, well, actually, right now I'm starting with a little piece of paper. In fact, you know what? So you guys can see it better. Let me think out loud with black. So what I started doing was I started doing the general shape. And do the body, just kind of getting the feel for it. She's gonna have, and what I'm probably gonna end up doing is doing this all over again on a larger sheet, because it would take me too long to scan and reprint in blue during an hour broadcast. So let's see. And we're going to give her a weapon from the shirt design I made. I made it for a Patreon reward. You can get the shirt on redbubble.com. It's the same rifle she used in issue number 6. That's just wrapped up online. It's fully available on my Patreon. In fact, we're actually working on 7 now on Patreon. And speaking of that kind of stuff, projects, we're working on, what's she going to do with the other arm? We're working on the number 7, and I'm also starting kind of like a pet project. Okay, that's the idea. That's the premise. If she's running, or if she's acting in such a way, the arm would probably be in front. No. That kind of closes up all the bodily action. To make a good action stance, you really should leave the body open. Yeah, something like that. There. I think that's a pretty good pose. Her neck would be behind her, behind the head, I mean. And hello, second person. Awesome. Thank you for joining. And if you had a hard time finding me, I'm really, really sorry. As I explained at the beginning of the video, I had some kind of weird glitch with YouTube. It kept wanting me to input some kind of data or streaming software. I think it was what it was called. I've never used streaming software. I just use my webcam. Can you see that? Just use my webcam. And apparently I can't talk and chew gum at the same time. So hang on a second. So, oh, you know what? Okay, I've done this nice little outline thing. I'm going through lead like crazy. Do I have any left? That would be exciting streaming content to actually change lead. I'm going to do something else that's a little exciting if I can. I'll probably blind everybody on the live stream. I have a light board I haven't used in a while, so it's a little dusty. That's what I'm doing right now off screen is dusting it off. And I just unplugged it. Great. Let me plug it back in. So I get off work, off my regular job, right before I come in here to do my live stream. And, oh, there it is. So I don't have a lot of prep time. So I apologize for not being totally prepared. And I should have another USB jack on my computer here. It's powered by USB. You can get it from Amazon or pretty much a lot of places. But and then one of the things I hate about it is the on button is like right below where my arm is. So yeah. Now I'm using my 65-pound Bristol here. I can still see the general shape. So how's that for you all? Does it look like you can see through it? You probably can't really. Let me see if I can get it a little bit brighter. Is it like blowing out your eyeballs on the stream? Who am I drawing today? I'm going to draw Becca. I'm going to put her in some kind of action pose here. And she's carrying her weapon that she got in issue 6 that some of you saw online just recently. And where did I do my pencil? I actually got her a little low on the sheet, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to decenter here. So let me, oops, my gosh, I'm so sorry, dust everywhere. All right, so let me just start with this is going to be kind of a quick sketch. Now I'm in my concentrating mode here, so sorry everybody. Just kind of trying to figure out where her head, where her hair and everything is going to be. This a little bit for. I'm going to give her angry eyes. I've given her a lot of times when you see her in the comics, she's got these big kind of doe eyes. She's got the kind of roundish nose. I'll have her saying something here. Okay. It's .mojo. How long does it take me to create one page? For the comic? Quite a while. I never really timed myself because, as I was sort of mentioning a little bit earlier, I have a regular job. I have to do. I would love to do comics as for a living, but so what ends up happening is that I'll do what I can, like after work or early in the morning when I wake up. I'll wake up a little early and I'll do something then. And then if I had to kind of estimate, depending on the complexity of the page, probably anywhere from 2 to 4 hours on a page. And that is mostly just the penciling and inking stuff. Yeah, I'm not liking that shoulder too much, but yeah, this is only pencil, right? Actually could give her hip a little bit more of a, as you see, I'm going like back and forth with my lines. Left side, right side. She's got her signature tank top on. Stuff she doesn't usually get to wear in the Marines. Okay. And so then what I do is I'll wrap up the page, I'll ink it, I'll shade it and whatnot, and I will put I'll send it off to Anton, my colorist in Ukraine. I found him on Facebook through one of those art clubs, and he has been absolutely fantastic. We've both kind of grown together. If any of you have been following me since the first issue, you'll realize that I kind of sucked. I hadn't drawn in years, and then I started getting my mojo back, as I progressed in the comic. Okay, she's got big old combat boots. And as you can see, it's kind of handy to have a light table. I don't use it that often. Most of the time, I will just pencil out a, here, let me show you a treat here. Give me a second. I'll pencil out a page, I'll scan it in the computer and print it out in blue, and then I will inking. In some cases, there's like just tons of detail. I'll show you a page that has only, oh, actually, no, this hasn't made it to Patreon yet. So it'll go on Patreon probably later tonight. So I'll pencil the page. And this particular page took me forever. I don't know. This was probably easily, the penciling part was probably easily about 4 hours because of all, oops, just turn the light back on. See, told you, under my arm. It's like there's so much detail in this frame here. I leave a lot open for Anton. He's an amazing artist of his own, and he fills in a lot of detail. I'll give him credit in the comic for backgrounds too. Then of course I scan it and make a ink copy. Or excuse me, I scan it and I print it in blue. So it's non-photo blue. You can kind of see it here. Let me see if I can see non-photo blue. And then I begin inking. And I usually ink with my ink pen. It's a Karataki number 8, I think it is. Great little pen. And of course the microns that like you see all the artists use. I did use Copic before. Copic or Copic? How do you say that anyway? These are actually pretty good. The refills are what I really like about this is it's metal. You don't ever throw it out. You can buy new nibs if your nib is wearing out, and you buy new ink cartridges. And I did find you can kind of refill those cartridges inside there. Just take your favorite ink and just start pouring it in there, and it works pretty well. The reason I ended up going to Micron is Micron's just darn cheap, and even though you have to throw out the whole darn thing, I really don't like doing that. The nibs last longer. So the nibs in the Copics, like the 1 and the 005 and the 2, they tend to, like, I don't know, bend and break easier. I just lost my pencil. Okay. So oops, I'm being really sloppy here. If you remember a while ago, I had a really big scene on a cruise ship, and Becca and Norton were looking out over the like an observation deck into like a fun area on the cruise ship. Wow, God, I give her big shoulders this time. It's really funny. Let me make her biceps a little bigger. And oh my gosh, that took me all day talking about how long it takes to do pages. The whole roller coaster that went like through the place. The pools were like 2 different pools. I think there was some kind of like little moto. I'm gonna go cheaping out and just give her a fist. Yeah, that took all day. I remember August day in 2020. Okay, so yeah, her little dimple things I put on her. Now the gun. Whoopsie. I don't really need the light board for this particular part because the gun is not really. I gotta remember she's got the. This is the tricky part sometimes, trying to figure out spacing of stuff. So look at her arm here. Oops. Okay, that actually worked out pretty well. So I can take this away for now. Try not to destroy other things. Oops. I'll keep that nearby. Okay. I'm sure you can see that off the side of the screen there. Gravity. Okay. Let me sketch in the gun real quick here. Sorry, you asked another question. Yes, I have. And I have a nice drawing tablet. And there's things you can do on a digital tablet that you can't do in, well, I mean, I draw this and it's kind of there. I have to kind of keep it, And so sorry, I'll just trying to remember what was on the gun. And then yeah, I could use that if I wanted to as an art tablet or art pad. But I haven't, mainly because I'm just not used to it. I don't have a feel for where things are supposed to, well, where the stylus is on the tablet, or I shouldn't say tablet. It's the art. Well, it's kind of a tablet, but it's especially made for the computer. Okay, I'm probably not going to get terribly detailed because we only have an hour, and I've already gone off in tangents. Bad me. Let's put her in the outdoors. Why not? I've done very few outdoor scenes in the comics so far. It's always been space stations, spaceships. These little cloudy things I'm going to call bushes. Okay. Yeah, there we go. Kind of a simple sketch. I am going to not put too much detail into it just right now. I'm a sketch. I like to kind of work things out. And I'm actually going to start with the really tiny micron, the 005. And this one, I just complained about the Copics. But you can see this, the nib has been pushed in already on this one. It's just the smaller the nib, the more fragile they are. Those big nibs, you see a lot of pros use like the 5 or the 8 when they're trying to do like a lot of their line work and such, which is fine. And I'll probably use the 5 in a few minutes. And I'm probably going to do some detail work here on the fly. When I was younger, I used to do it all in pen. I actually did in pencil. And that's not always smart, but it was fun. Kind of forces you to commit to your lines. Let me see, I get those angry eyes I was talking about, because again, you all know her eyes are kind of bigger and rounder when she's just being herself. Kind of drawing her eyebrows right through the hair, which is kind of silly. I'm going to let the color pens do the shading. I'm not going to do a lot of shading, just a few lines to kind of do some of the suggested areas. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm really sketchy. Look at this. All right, 24 minutes into the stream, so I'm kind of trying to be a little conscious of time. Those are kind of like the aggro neck marks that you see on muscle people. But as we know, she's pretty well muscled for the petite thing that she is. Now, the reason I'm using a smaller brush first is I can put in the smaller lines, and then I can go back over it in the larger pen to kind of box them in. That actually works a little better if I'm doing shading, more shading with the pen, which I just said I wasn't. So we'll see here. And actually, this should probably go over her hip. There we go. So how's everyone doing on this Tuesday night? What's the weather like in your area? We're cooling down. Here in California, Northern California, we're in the 60s today. I don't know if we got to 70. Might have got to 70. I hear some other places are actually getting a lot cooler faster. Okay. Very sketchy. Sorry, guys. Oh, sort of go back to something you were saying, Miss Dot Mojo, I also just like drawing with a pen, drawing on paper. There's something relaxing about it. I don't know if I get that same satisfaction from a digital drawing. That's I'm supposed to be kind of going through this quickly, but let's just sort of get some lines here. Straight lines, that's what I meant to say. There we go. So when I was a kid, I drew a ton of comics. My friend and I would get on the phone every night, talk about what we'd accomplished. It sort of kept us driven. What am I doing? This is what they invented white pens for. Yeah, I just wrecked my line. There we go. Oh, silly me. In the Patreon version of this weapon, there was a grenade launcher. Right down here. I forgot the grenade launcher. Well, it's not too late. There's always time for grenade launcher. Oops, I think my paper moved. Yeah, I moved. Blending my paper. There we go, closer there. Okay, I said there's only time for grenade launcher, but maybe not. Hang on here. It's not a very good looking grenade launcher. Yeah, we'll call that the grenade launcher. Deal? Last week I was showing you guys the virtues of a French curve. They're very handy. This would have been a good spot to use it right there. All right, so some of the base lines. And we already know we're going to put shadow underneath there, so let me just do a quick shadow line. Okay, and I'm going to make the bushes a little less cloudy. Not exactly flower looking. Oh well. More like cottage cheese looking, maybe. I'm not sure about that. All right. I'll put the 5. Using the 5 tonight instead of the brush pen because the brush pen, I like to start with a brush pen. And sorry. back into concentration again. The brush pen. Yeah, it's a good place to start. That way I can get more of my lines and do the shading kind of at the same time. How's that for a broken up sentence with all the little dramatic pauses? Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Where'd that line come from? Getting a little too fast there, aren't I? So I won't take the bigger pen into any of the areas that are, that I'll have little marks. Just areas that overlap other areas. And half of these marks are pencils, so that's something we have to kind of keep our eye on. Okay. Yeah, I don't like that first line there. In football talk, I called an audible. Now, we were talking about a few minutes ago about the time it takes me to do a page. Obviously, I'd take a bit more time with stuff like this if I was going to be doing it in the comic, so it wouldn't look quite so rushed. And you guys have seen me do that before too. Like in the first live stream, I did that superhero comic page, and it took me 2 hours to ink that puppy. Also, have to keep in mind this is a fatter pen. I'm sorry, I'm way down here at the bottom. So it's a little harder to kind of determine where the center line is going to end up when you place it on the paper. Oopsie. Yeah, I can clean some of this up in the computer too. So if I was doing this as a page and for some reason I was really super sloppy, once I scan it in, I can actually use my eraser. And we were talking a moment ago about the tablet, and I can I'll leave this as it is, but I don't think that's quite right. Okay. Just use the eraser to erase little rogue lines here and there. Okay. Just about ready to start the coloring. Let's do a few more of these lines on the legs. If you guys want me to focus on something in a future video, yeah, tell me. Just let me know. Maybe you want to see something just colored. and not completely drawn from start to finish. I don't think I'm going to end up with enough time to do this in its entirety. So you can see with the pen here, I can get like a little, by just releasing the pressure, I can get a lighter line. I don't have to keep it fat all the time. Oops. Should have turned the paper on that. When you're inking, you gotta turn the paper a lot. Your wrist doesn't always go where you want it to go at the moment you want it to go. So now with a brush pen, I would definitely go to town on that boot. For example, let me do this. With the brush pen, her boots are generally black. I can get a nice variety of line by how much I press down. The paper's eating it up. You can see how the paper is just soaking it in. Even though this is smooth, it still has some absorption. There. Yeah, let me color that in. Still leaving the wrinkles the leather would have. And one of the other things I can do is I can always tighten it up with the old Sharpie. That's something else. Sharpie is super handy for covering big areas fast. I know a lot of people don't like the Sharpie. Maybe it's a little blue for them. And I know what else you're probably asking me. Like, hey, didn't you just do those shoelace lines in there? Well, when I do something like this, I can come back with the light. Right this moment probably isn't the best time because it's still probably a little bit wet. But there are my shoelace lines. I can even sharpen up some of the edges I just did. That one got lost a little bit. See, you can do that. When it's a little drier, it will look a little better, a little brighter. Okay. I am actually now going to erase more. I can get her back foot. There, see, now look at that face. You can see the face now. There's so much pencil under there. There we go. Get my trusty old brush. Oh, I just moved my garbage can so that all went on the floor. Great. Yes, I keep my garbage can right down there so I can catch stuff like that. Oops. Okay. Now I'm going to pull out. Oh, let me do this real quick. Oh my gosh. That's what happens when you're in a hurry. In construction, they say this thing, which of course I only really know from back when I was a picture framer. Measure twice, cut once. So basically, take your time. This one looks too yellow. Yeah, that's okay. Okay. Yeah, basically take your time in what you're doing. Because you can really mess it up if you rush into it. Okay. Yeah, my technique is kind of sloppy. I haven't really used pens in ages. I'll have to go to my Facebook group and update some of the images I've posted there over time. Because I have some old art I have posted on Facebook before, but I don't think it's in the group. And I'll have to show you guys some of that stuff and what I used to do with the coloring. I kind of like how these will get deeper when you apply them more than once. It's kind of nice. So I'm going to do something a little bit different here. And I'm going to apply. Oh, forgot our ears. How funny. Oops. There we go. I used to use these pens back in the day called Tria. They were pretty good. I don't think they make them anymore. At least I haven't seen them in a long time. Now these Trias, they have 3 tips. So, these Copics and even the Artezas that I'm about to use, they have 2. The fat chisel and the regular brush type. And oops. And it was really nice because one of the tips was a super fine point. So you can get really like into the tight areas, like over the eyes. I was just doing a moment ago. They were excellent for that. Copics are nice because you can get a nice fine point, and if you really have a light touch and have better aim than I do, you can actually get some pretty fine places. Okay. And I am missing all of the board. Look at that. You know, they used to tell you when you were a kid, you know, color inside the lines. And if you didn't, you were a rebel. All right, so that's the Copic fleshes that I have. Oh, you know what? I'm going to go back over again. Do a bit more blending with the lighter color here. I think I waited a little bit too long on some of these areas. But if you blend with the lighter color, like right after, you can get a better mesh. Yeah, I didn't quite do this in time. That's sort of one of the nice features of these alcohol-based pens is they will sort of pick themselves up. See, that actually worked pretty well up there on top. See, a little bit more of a blend there. You guys need to spend a little more time on it. Yeah, there we go. Okay. A little bit smoother. So I'm going to just carry that out. There. Now, let me pull out some of the Arteza. I always want to say Aztec or something like that. Pretty nice little set. Actually, not terribly expensive. Let's see here. Let me go with... I have a feeling Canary is going to be a bit too much, but let's give that a shot. We'll do the light first here. She's not exactly blonde. She's not exactly brunette, kind of a sandy color, I guess you could say. Now, first thing I notice is the Artezas. You can see they're a much harder. They're a much harder nib. They do the same thing though, where if you go over the same spots again, you will definitely get more of a multiplying. So if I wanted to do my lines a little bit more carefully, I could do that. Let's see, I get a little bit more out of it that way. It's definitely a harder tip. I'm going to put in some darker tone here. Gotta be careful with the bangs. I made those so small. Actually, I'm making her almost a redhead. What do you think? Almost, not quite. Let's see if I can find a light brown. This might be too much. Let's give it a shot. Doesn't work, does it? Ah, yeah, that's way too much. I need a lighter brown. Might be good for a little shading, but no. Something a little lighter than that. Oh, I think I see one. How about I be smart? Try this out first. Ooh, it's kind of greeny. What do you think? Oh yeah, not bad. I'll probably want to go back over it again. I've got all these pens in my hand. Yeah. Got a little too much contrast in there, but not terrible. Not great. Not terrible. Let's see. So sorry, but a few of these go by. How did you discover your love, passion with drawing? Ever since I was a little kid, I would draw my favorite things, whatever they would be. And it was a good release, good like way to kind of get my sort of relaxed, if you know what I mean. Let me try this and that. And at my, let's see, how old was I? Somewhere between 8 and 10 when I discovered Spider-Man. Spider-Man came up in the Sunday comics. And I started drawing him. And I was doing like cartoony stuff before that. Oops, I don't want to do that. What did I hear though? So yeah, I would do these little shorts, little Spider-Man short comics, share them with my friends at school. So that was my introduction to the world of comics. Because before that, really, I didn't get comic books. I didn't own any. Wasn't something we did in the family, you know. No one had comic books in our family. And then that friend I told you about earlier, the one I met in middle school, and we'd talk to each other on the phone every night, and talk about what we'd accomplished that day in our art. Okay. And he's the one that kind of got me into comics, because I had really discovered Spider-Man through the Sunday Funnies, believe it or not, the Sunday newspaper. I'm making a mess of all these pens I'm not putting back. Let's see. I'm going to give her... do some more base coloring here. I think I'll try the chisel point out here to see if I can get just more real estate done. Well, that's a nice color. I like that. I didn't give her one of her trademark patterns, though. Oh my gosh, look at that. I'm missing lines all over the place. Not bad. Not bad. I know some people, they would never use the chisel for one reason or another, but that did pretty well. And you had some other questions there too. You'd love to see a video where I show my material, pens and paper light table. Oh, you know, just a little bit of that. But yeah, I know what you mean. Some kind of like instead of a live stream, some kind of pre-filmed video. I gotcha. I'll try that. I've never been especially good at those. I don't want that color. Let's see. Hey, look at this. I do not have like a good pinky kind of color. I kind of want to do a pink for her top. This is called Croissant Brown. I think I tried using it for something the other day. That's kind of a red brown. But that's funny. I don't have a pink. Got a red. I can always do red, but that's a really bright red. Interesting. Didn't realize I didn't have like a pink. But fear not, I actually have some more Copics. And guess what I have in there? I have a pink. Okay. So I said this would be about an hour live stream, and we are at just over the hour now. So tell you what we'll do, and you see how soft this brush is. I shouldn't have done that there. I should have done that down here. I'll prep something for next time, and let's do a coloring thing. That way I won't feel so rushed about drawing and coloring. Because if you know me, you know I get off on tangents and I start like talking about all kinds of things that are not related to what I'm actually doing at the moment. And so yeah, we should try that in the future. So yeah, let me know if you want to do that next week. And let's see, I think I have a slightly darker color. Not sure if this one's going to work quite as well. Yeah, it does. I don't think it's different enough from the color I just put in there. This one might be a bit too much. Oh yeah, way too much. Way too much. Yeah, that's way too much. Well, let's forget we did that. So I don't have quite the rainbow of colors I thought I had, but enough to keep us going there for a little while. Let me show you something real quick before we go. Let's see, is it still my scanner? Yes, it's still my scanner. So last week you all saw me do a penciling for something I'll be working on in the future. Just kind of a fun project. So here's the inking. I've actually already put text on it and sent it off to Anton for coloring. So it is going to be a Star Trek themed adventure. Let's see if I can get that in the camera there. Can you all see it okay? Let me center it. So yeah, if you saw last week's live stream, you saw me pencil all this. And she's got crazy eyes. That came out much different than it did in the penciling. I'm going to have to rework that a little bit later. But there it is. Earlier I mentioned I scan it and then I actually print the blue. So this is the actual printed blue from the printer. I convert everything in Photoshop and then print it out. That way, when I rescan the inking, the blue is non-photo and it doesn't show up in my scan. Okay, so that's something fun to look forward to. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with that next as a live stream, but I might actually show you some pages I'll work on for that. Okay, so we are over the hour, and I will bid you guys a good night. Oop, I think I missed a couple questions, so real quick. Do you do the black and the color text? Yes, that's absolutely right. So Anton, I send my stuff off to Anton. He's in the Ukraine. We met on Facebook through one of the art sites, one of the art groups. And thank you very much, Miss Dot Mojo. It was a pleasure having you here, and everybody else. Thanks very much for watching, and we will pick up something new and different next time. And like I said, leave me a comment. Let me know what you'd like to see for next week. At the moment, I'm thinking another page of Raising Cain, and we'll see how that goes. And big blank white screen. Sorry about that. I'm going to do my usual card. Ta-da! Raising Cain. All my social medias, most of which you can probably see in the description below. And I will see you guys next time. Thanks much. Bye now.